Thank you very much. Today I'll be presenting Atac Resources. We have Canada's only Carlin-style mineralization. We're an exploration story and we're located in the Yukon. A few forward-looking statements may be made today. So just quickly, I don't have a lot of time to be able to tell you everything about the story, but I would like to just say that we've been up in the Yukon. I started 23 years ago in the Yukon. Our group's got 60 years exploration experience in the Yukon. And we've recently brought on Ed Cope, who is second from the right there. He was VP Exploration for Barrick Gold for over 20 years. And Doug Goss on the left, Julia Lane, VPX for the company, Ian Talbot from BHP, and then myself on the right. So we've got a long history of work in the Yukon and expertise. Capital structure, we've got 147 million shares outstanding. We started the company in early 2000. We've never consolidated the company. We have 18 million in the till, and as you can see there, we've got Barrick as a 19% owner, along with the Tocqueville Gold Fund and Strategic Metals, a sister company. You might also notice that Agnico Eagle came in 2013 with the placement. They're still shareholders as well. So we've got a great following, and Barrick came in with a placement of $8.3 million in spring of last year, and they had actually bought 9% in the market at that time. So where are we? What's our project? We're in the central Yukon. You can see that we're right up by Victoria Gold and Alexco there. Victoria Gold is building a gold mine as we speak. Alexco is a silver producing mine where they'll be getting started soon. And then ourselves just to the northeast of that. I would just make one comment. The Yukon is really behind mining and exploration in the Yukon. Just recently we've got Barrick, Newmont, Kinross, Agnico have all come into the territory. I think you're going to see a bit of a flight to places where companies are welcome, and that's certainly the Yukon. We've also committed, the federal and territorial government have committed about $360 million to Rose to Resources as well. So definitely the beauty of working in the Yukon is there's a long history of mining and exploration. So if you zoom in into the project, you can see that we've had to break it down into three projects. The orange on the left, that's the Raw project. That's where we've recently had a joint decision to allow the road to go ahead. That's a 65-kilometer road to the western end of the project. Then you see the yellow in the center. That we did a deal with Barrick in spring 2017, allowing them to earn up to 70% of that Orion project by spending $55 million. And then at the very end, you see the green area, which we call the Osiris project. That's where all the known gold zones are, of which we've been exploring since 2009 and 10 when we made the discoveries of Carlin-style mineralization. So it's going to be a big year for us. We will be doing about 20,000 meters between Barrick and ourselves, 10 and 10. I'll take you into the those two, the yellow and the green star, moving forward here. So just to put that in perspective, that's 185 kilometers long, so roughly the length of Long Island if you're from this area. So when you zoom into that small area, that's just about 20 miles. And just for comparison, we like to use this Cortez district to scale. And for what it's worth, about 70% of the gold from the U.S. comes from Nevada, and the majority of that is Carlin-style deposits, because these type of deposits can be big, high grade or low grade, but altogether what the key thing is that they develop in clusters, and that's what we're seeing here. That bottom area of Cortez District in Nevada to scale, that's well over 50 million ounces has been found there, and they're still finding more. And we're just in the infancy in the Orion and Osiris areas. You can see that 85,000 meters has been drilled on the green area. That's where we own it 100%. And then the yellow area is where Barrick is earning into 70%. So you're going to see 10,000 meters drilled by Barrick on the left, 10,000 for us on the right-hand side, the Osiris project. I hope to bump that up into a phase 2 this year. We are thinking about putting out our maiden resource. We might be able to do that this year, so keep an eye out for that as well in the coming months. I I think I briefly talked about what we're going to be doing, and there's broken down a little bit. The $7 million that we're going to be doing is, as you'll see, we're going to be expanding zones. So all of the work that we're doing this year is going to be growing our known zones of gold. Barrick, last year, they were in there. They're under a $10 million guaranteed 3-year commitment right now. They're in their second year. They're going to accelerate that, and they'll be spending $6 million this year. So, and this year, all of the work that they're doing is purely drilling for gold. Last year was all about more academic, doing stratigraphy, learning and mapping, and identifying the right rocks. This year is going to be testing for gold. I like to do this just so people get a feeling for what the lay of the land looks like. Most people will say, oh my goodness, it's too rugged, how are you going to mine there? And actually it works in our favor in many cases. I would draw your attention to some of the grades. You know, obviously we have some of our highlight grades, they do vary, but it just speaks to the quality of the mineralization in the system here. The maiden resource that we would be putting out is envisioned to include the Conrad, Osiris, Sunrise, and Ibis. Most importantly, if you look at 2 holes there, OS 17, 12.5 meters at 20 grams, that was found at the eastern end of Conrad late last year, near surface, so a lot of potential there. We have 2 drills going right there right now. Sunrise, our best mineralization, was on one of our deepest hole, 15 meters of 13.5 grams, so we're going to have a drill on that very soon. And then there's 2 drills right now over to Orion with Barrick. So this quickly just reiterating what I just said. You can see on the right Conrad, we've got 2 drills on the right-hand side of the Conrad, and then we'll be moving one up to Sunrise. The key thing here is that a lot of this, every one of these zones is open, and they all come to surface at some point. Barrick's ground. Again, a very large area. It's kind of a greenfield project, but we did find some gold out there. We'll be zooming in to that smaller rectangle there on what we call the Anubis cluster. And this is the key. A lot of the work was done on the Orion project, but the numbers you see here, I don't know if you'll be able to make them out, but we did find gold. We were finding 100-gram grab samples at Anubis proper. We drilled almost 20 grams over 8.5 meters. We also drilled almost 3 grams over 61 meters. And Barrick has 2 drills running right now up by Hydra and Corona, testing the northern fault. You're going to see 10,000 meters, like I said. And they'll also be bringing those drills further down to Anubis and the Anubis and Orion. So there's going to be a lot of news there. So a couple catalysts. It's actually going to be our largest drill program since 2012 with 20,000 meters. So if Barrick hits and we continue hitting at the Conrad and with our resource, there's going to be a lot of news to be looking out for. So why invest in Atac? That's the key. I mean, you know, we're definitely one of the largest drill programs in the Yukon. We have some of Canada's highest gold grades. We're in a safe jurisdiction. We have Barrick as a partner, and a lot of potential in a district scale discovery area like the Yukon. So yeah, we should. And we're actually going to be adding a 5th drill in the next week. So. Keep an eye out, and lots of news coming. So thank you very much.